Hey, this is C&D Channel. I'm Chris. This is Dave, and today we're gonna talk about like potential opponents for Junior dos Santos. Um, Now that Overeem, you know, just got elevated testosterone levels.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
So, who? Let's pick out three possible potential candidates. Which three would you pick?
well, before that, like I'd like to get to the backstory,
Oh,
or
let's start
not the
with
back,
backstory.
not the backstory. I mean,
The story behind this.
there isn't much story. He got you know, I think he got like the ratio is like 10 out of a 1 or 12 out of 1, something like that. Or 10 to 1 or 12 to 1. Um, to Testosterone levels, and maximum allowed is 6 to 1, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So, yeah, not good. It really sucks, you know.
What caused this?
I don't know.
Right? This is
But
a big fight. Why will?
you ever seen the guy?
Yeah, I saw that.
But no, the weird thing is he's never failed a drug test before when he did fight in the U.S. So it's very interesting that he's caught now. It's like what happened. Um, the other thing is his camp really hasn't spoken. Him or his camp has not spoken about this yet. And the story broke just a couple days ago. Quiet. Totally. What do you think that means, man?
I,
Totally
I
quiet.
I hated to say this, but from my perspective, for the way I look at it, is guilty as charged.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And well, he's good. Well, unless something miraculous happens, like he had documentation or something like that. Yeah, he's pretty much guilty. I
Because,
mean,
this is a big fight.
uh-huh.
And if he's not guilty as charged, even if his case should stand out and try to, protect the reputation for the camp, also
Uh-huh.
protect his reputation.
Uh-huh.
The fact they are silent about it and let it go, not just give me the, curiosity to think that it might go the other way.
Uh-huh. So, um, as far as like playing matchmaker goes, I mean, a lot of people figured, and this could still happen. Frank Mir was gonna get moved up to fight Junior dos Santos.
Mm-hmm.
He's on a 3-fight win streak. Has a really solid win over Nogueira, and he broke his arm. He's definitely the most deserving guy. He's already training for a fight. Dana White said though, Mir versus Velasquez still gonna happen. Okay.
Well, this it is a really good fight, Mia versus Velasquez, but
Mm-hmm.
why prefer the other way? Yeah, but they're fighting for number one contender, so it's another big good story to have.
Yeah. The thing with those, stylistically, Mir would probably get his face caved in. To be perfectly honest, he watched like a lot of his fights. Watch his the Nogueira fight. He was just getting beat up on the feet. He almost lost by strikes.
Yes.
Um, and Junior hits really hard, really fast, real
Mm-hmm.
accurate. um, so those two aren't gonna fight. Junior dos Santos is, Velasquez is another option. Not gonna happen, and I wouldn't want to see that fight so soon, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Then people were like, "Oh, get Josh Barnett, or Daniel Cormier from Strikeforce." Not gonna happen. They're in Strikeforce.
Just how is that gonna happen in this short
Yeah.
term?
Some people are saying Fedor, get Fedor, but he's not.
Oh,
Come on, it's
I
not.
know this has become a hot topic, but get realistic.
Yeah. So back to the question at hand.
Mm-hmm.
The three
Realistic,
realistic possible guys are Fabricio Werdum,
number one.
uh, Dan Henderson, actually,
Number two.
and finally the Super Samoan Mark Hunt.
Number three, and I picked number three because Jamie Lee. No, it's another Cinderella story, and it's such good. I mean, I talk about business perspective, as a business consultant. I think this is a good story to have.
Mm-hmm.
just imagine if he win.
Mm-hmm.
My God, another Cinderella story. That is something that no one can use to. I don't care about merchandise. I don't care about story coverage. Another way he can promote UFC.
Right. Well, let's look at the other guys before dwelling into Mark Hunt, because I actually agree with you here. Okay, Dan Henderson's actually it's a good choice. Actually, it's not a bad choice. The problem is, I mean, yeah, he fought Fedor at heavyweight and some other guys, and Pride as a heavyweight. The fact of the matter is, he's not a heavyweight, and the way the UFC works is that generally when they have a person in a weight class, they make sure to keep him in that weight class. If they change weight classes, it's generally there's exceptions, but in general, they they stick with whatever new weight class they're going to.
Yes, I agree.
Also, Dan Henderson is a great logical next opponent for the winner of John Jones versus Rashad Evans.
Mm-hmm.
One thing you have to consider, while there's like Alexander Gustafsson if he beats Thiago Silva, one thing you got to consider is light heavyweight is actually declining as of late as a division. It's very top heavy, and not too many new prospects are coming in. Phil Davis, Bader, Gustafsson. As far as contenders, there's really not many other guys. You gotta have Dan Henderson really is the next like logical guy coming off a big win over Shogun. He's getting older. He kind of deserves title fights at this time, which is why they can give him Junior dos Santos because he can get a title fight.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I can't imagine Dan Henderson staying as a heavyweight. It's just. He's a small light heavyweight as it is.
I agree, and then we definitely can use him on light heavyweight.
Yeah, exactly.
No Dan Henderson.
I don't think it's gonna happen. There's too many factors that make me think it's not gonna be Dan Henderson.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Okay, Fabricio Werdum. Okay, there's some problems with Werdum. He's scheduled to fight Mike Russo in June. That they can scratch that. One thing that's interesting about like on paper too, Werdum, besides having a higher ranking in most like rankings, it for money wise, pay per view, if you take away the Cinderella story from Hunt and whatnot, they're interchangeable. Mark Hunt. Fabricio Werdum fighting Junior dos Santos essentially does the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
As far as buy rates. I don't think more people are going to buy a pay-per-view because it's Werdum instead of Mark Hunt.
It doesn't change the fact the ticket sale, the pay-per-view sale. I agree with you.
Yeah. So, stylistically, okay. Well, another backstory is, how much of a win streak is Fabricio Werdum? Any idea? Do you want me to tell you?
Anybody have a... No. Okay.
He's on a whopping 1-fight win streak.
Good.
Okay, over Roy Nelson.
Did you guys get it right?
Whopping 1-fight win streak. Granted, he has beaten guys like Fedor, of course, first guy to officially beat Fedor. Antonio Silva, before losing to Alistair Overeem. Okay. 1-fight win streak. Showed improved striking against Roy Nelson. However, but he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy. However, do you know who Fabricio Werdum's last opponent was in his previous UFC stint?
Anybody have any idea? Write down your idea. What's the answer?
Junior dos Santos. He got uppercutted, knocked out. First fight Junior dos Santos ever had in the UFC was against Fabricio Werdum, and he knocked him out clean with an uppercut.
Did you get that right? If you get that right, then you will know what he's gonna say next.
Huh? What am I gonna say next?
Well, if he got knocked out, then why would he fight with Junior dos Santos again?
Well, I mean, there's like a revenge story here. It's like, he can avenge the loss. Maybe.
But when was that?
it was a while back too. So that there is a story there.
Yeah, definitely.
There is a story, but once again, one fight win streak. Stylistically too, like Werdum's striking looked improved, but I just don't think it's still on the level of like Junior dos Santos.
Definitely, I don't think so.
Okay, so now we got to Marco Hunto. Okay, this guy, K1 level, stand up. Everyone uses the term. Watch his fights. Watch his fights in the in his win streak though. He's very for like such a he's a short heavyweight but huge. He's very accurate and he hits really hard. I mean that's the thing. He's been very good at hitting people. I don't know how else to say it.
I think it was our prediction before we mentioned that all the time. He is very accurate.
Yeah, and very fast for his size.
Mm-hmm.
So Junior dos Santos, stand-up fighter. Does a lot of boxing. From a stylistic perspective, you're gonna see a stand-up fight.
That's what people want to see.
And the fact of the matter is, from a stylistic perspective, both these guys are hard heads. There is actually a chance, just from a stylistic perspective, that Mark Hunt could beat Junior dos Santos. Just stylistically, if you keep it standing, that's both these guys' strength. You know what I mean? That's the thing.
And that's exactly what we were talking about. To pick out the fact that Mark Hunt and to win this fight, it's gonna be a great Cinderella story.
Yeah, exactly. Now, yeah, you go to the Cinderella story. Okay, Mark Hunt, when he came into the UFC and when he got beat by Sean McCorkle to make a 6-fight losing streak.
Man.
He comes back, fights Chris Tuchscherer, walk off KO by uppercut, man.
Good
awesome
fight.
Stuff. Goes 3 rounds in Denver with Ben Rothwell, showing improved grappling and takedown defense and even offensive takedowns. Fights Chicago, one of the most solid gatekeepers of the heavyweight division, a mainstay in the UFC heavyweight division. So what happens? Chicago actually tries to take him down, and he's a striker himself. He tries to take him down, gets stuffed. First strike that drops him is a counter left hook. It hits pinpoint. Drops him. He gets back up. Chicago goes to block an overhand right. Still gets blasted. Still gets on wobbly legs. And he gets pummeled until he falls to the mat. Gets pummeled more. And then Mark Hunt gets a TKO victory in the first round. Gets Chicago. No one thought it would ever happen. A solid 3-fight win streak in 2012 by Mark Hunt, who's in his late 30s.
It's now or never.
Timing. Here's the thing, though. Who's there? Who is there? Some people will say John Jones. It's like, no, that's not gonna happen. Okay, let's forget this idea that like people from light heavyweight are gonna move up to like heavyweight or something. Guys from Strikeforce, not gonna happen. Fedor, most likely not gonna happen. Besides Overeem miraculously getting licensed.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
good now.
Yeah. Maybe there is a possibility Mir versus Velasquez does get scrapped.
I will be disappointed to watch that because I don't think he created that hype as much as a fact as he just fight with the Velasquez.
Yeah. So you got Dan Henderson, and I explained certain things about Henderson, why I don't think he should be the next challenger. Werdum, I think he can use a couple more wins. So now Mark Hunt. Honestly, I think he really does make the most sense at this time. It's just it's a timing thing too. If if this fight if Junior dos Santos is going to fight like in a couple months, maybe not. Maybe you can find someone else during the meantime. But until then, you got 1 month to find a challenger. Mark Hunt makes a lot of sense. He was already scheduled to fight Seven Struve. There's a Cinderella story here. And from a stylistic perspective, it's very interesting, and then that they're both stand-up fighters.
So three factor: timing,
Mhm.
Cinderella story,
Mhm.
stylistic.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Yeah.
For number three, Mark Hunt.
Yeah. Vote for Mark Hunt, man. I think right now there is a Twitter campaign rally. It's under pound sign rally for Hunt. If you want to rally for him, go to Twitter. It's a strong possibility. I'm not just saying that because I'm like a fan of Mark Hunt. I'm saying this because I honestly think, considering the timing and whatnot, he is the best choice. Considering all the factors that Mir versus Velasquez is still happening. Werdum, Dan Henderson, guys outside the UFC, all that. Considering all the factors, I really do feel he is the best choice at this time, unless something happens.
And again, the good suggestion for the UFC marketing department: use this opportunity. It's hard to find timing like this.
Yeah.
Finally, after the basketball Cinderella story, people still hype out for the underdog. Use this. The guy is 30 years old. Last booming. This is a chance. Whatever you want to write, this is opportunity for you.
Yeah. The only thing going against it really is like Mark Hunt, record-wise, is an 8-7 record. Once again, you're still talking about timing though. Okay, you need to find a guy in a month. Okay, he's like really the best you got in my opinion.
Yeah. And a lot of money to be made. Not just saying because Mark Hunt, so the people are gonna watch it, but it's look, support Mark Hunt T-shirt. Underdog will win. I mean, come on, make this hype out much more, man.
So cool. That's pretty much it for our
for you,
MMA for you. Possible title contenders for Junior dos Santos. Okay, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys very much. This is MMA for you. Thank you.